Hello everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in today, and welcome to the home of all things FIFA career mode. If you are new to the channel and you do enjoy this video, it makes perfect sense to hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back and thanks for your continued support. And if you want extra FIFA career gems content, then why not head over to either my Twitter or Instagram. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the FIFA journey of 3 players that I think are well deserving of the status career mode legend. Kicking off firstly with Zachariah Bacali, who burst onto the scene as a 17-year-old wonder kid back in FIFA 14 playing for PSV. He had an overall of 73 and a very high potential of 90. However, he did suffer a bad injury in real life later that season, meaning the following year in FIFA 15 he was actually demoted to PSV under-21s and swiftly removed from the game. So the next time we saw Bacali was in FIFA 16, where he'd moved to Valencia. His overall was 73 and his potential had gone down to 85, but he was still only 19 years of age. He had excellent pace, which made him a solid pickup for career mode in FIFA 16, and with player training introduced, it was very easy to get him above that 85 potential. In FIFA 17, still at Valencia, his overall had gone up to 74, but his potential had come down to 82. He was now 20 years of age and still just managing to keep hold of that showing great potential status. I think it's safe to say his career at Valencia never really got going due to injury, so the following season and in FIFA 18, Bacali was loaned out to Deportivo La Coruña. His overall had actually dropped lower than what it was back in FIFA 14, and he was no longer showing great potential, with a potential of only 79. But sadly, the loan spell at Deportivo didn't reignite his career, as the following season and in FIFA 19, Bacali returned to his homeland of Belgium with Anderlecht. His overall had dropped even lower to 70, likewise with his potential now down at 76. He was now 22 years of age, so in career mode terms, he's now lost the tag as a wonder kid. Into FIFA 20, and Bacali was still at Anderlecht. His overall had dropped to a new low of 69 and his potential was 75. Just a reminder that his initial overall when he was first added in FIFA 14 was 73. As you can see, Bacali has had the injury-prone trait added in FIFA 20, which is probably due to the amount of niggling injuries he's had throughout his career. Moving right up to date with FIFA 21, and Bacali is still at Anderlecht, but he's on loan at Beerschot with the option to make that move permanent. Bacali is still only 24 years of age in career mode, but his overall now is down at 67 and his potential is only 70, so I'm sure we can all agree that Zachariah Bacali is a player that didn't quite live up to his potential. The next career mode legend we're going to take a closer look at is the Italian goalkeeper Simone Scoffett from Udinese. He first burst onto the scene in FIFA 14 where he was 17 years of age. He had a low overall of 57 and an equally low potential of 71, but by the time FIFA 14 had ended, his overall had been increased to 72 and he was an exciting prospect with a potential of 88. And he took those solid ratings into FIFA 15, where he did get an updated 2D mini-face. His overall was 71 and he was still an exciting prospect with a potential of 87. But in real life, his game time at Udinese was quite limited, so in FIFA 16 he went out on loan to Como. He was now 19 years of age, his overall was 72 and he was showing great potential with a potential of 83. He played almost every game for Como that season, and in FIFA 17 he'd returned to Udinese with an increased overall of 74 and an increased potential of 85. And even though by now everyone's favourite career mode goalkeepers were Gianluigi Donnarumma or Alban Lafont, Simone Scoffett at 20 years of age in FIFA 17 was still a solid pickup in career mode. In FIFA 18, Scoffett had turned 21, meaning it was the last career mode he was going to have a potential status of showing great potential. His overall had been increased again up to 75 and his potential was down to 83. But by FIFA 18 it had become quite obvious that Scoffett was only ever going to be Udinese's backup goalkeeper, so in FIFA 19, even though he did start out at Udinese, he went out on loan to Turkey with Kasımpaşa. He was now 22 years of age, meaning his potential status had gone. His overall was 72 and his potential was 82. He returned to Udinese after his loan spell in Turkey, but in FIFA 20 it was another season-long loan, this time at Spezia. His overall had remained the same at 72, and his potential had also remained the same at 82. He was a first-team regular on loan at Spezia, playing over 30 games that season. So we move right up to date now in FIFA 21, and he's back at Udinese. He is now 24 years of age. His overall is 72 and his potential is 79. So even though he represented Italy at international youth level, he never did quite live up to his promising potential that he had as a teenager. And the final career mode legend for this episode is the Belgian midfielder Yuri Tielemans. He was first added to career mode in FIFA 15 where he was playing for Anderlecht. He was only 17 years of age but already had an overall of 74. He was an exciting prospect with a potential of 89 and his attributes were already very well rounded. Sadly, at the end of that season, he did get an injury in real life, meaning he started FIFA 16 with an injury. His overall had increased up to 76 and his potential was still an exciting prospect but had gone up to 90. He was still playing at Anderlecht in FIFA 16 but had started to attract interest for some of Europe's top clubs. In FIFA 17, Tielemans was one of the best young midfielders in the game along with Renato Sanchez with an overall of 77 and an exciting prospect potential still of 90. He was still only 19 years of age and now had a career mode value of £9.5 million. In FIFA 18, Tielemans had got a big money move for £28 million to the very successful at that time Monaco in Ligue 1. His overall was up to 80 and he was still an exciting prospect with a potential of 90. But his real life transfer wasn't great for us career mode players because it meant we couldn't sign him in the first season of FIFA 18. Moving on to FIFA 19, it was the first time we saw Tielemans with a face scan, but sadly his overall had dropped to 79. It was still an exciting prospect, but his potential was down to 89. His career at Monaco was hampered by a few niggling injuries, so in FIFA 20 he moved again, this time to Leicester City. By now he is 22 years of age, so his potential status had gone. However, his overall had increased up to 81, his potential was still solid at 87 and his value had gone up to 21 million. In real life he adapted to the Premier League very well and quickly became a Leicester City first team regular. Moving right up to the present day in FIFA 21 where Tielemans has recently had an updated face scan. His overall is up to 83 and his potential is 86, his value is 44.5 million. And he is now well established in Leicester City's team as one of the most consistent midfielders in the Premier League. So even though there were some bumps in the road, I think it's safe to say that Tielemans has achieved his potential in FIFA career mode and also in real life. So those were the first 3 career mode legends. I hope you enjoyed the start to this series, but that does conclude today's video. All that remains to say is thank you so much for watching. Please remember to tune in next time, but until then, it's FCG out.